Yeah, hey, drop. Yeah, hey, drop. Yeah, hey, drop.
Every player on the ice has a 10-minute misconduct, among other penalties.
I have never.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's episode of the 10-Minute Misconduct. I am being joined with Anna, Aaron, and Garrett Rutledge from the Athens Rock Lobsters. So tonight we're going to have a pretty good episode. First, we're going to start off with Aaron with our newly found disclaimer.
All right, y'all. Remember, we're ready to go. But before we start, the following video will be a chaotic swirl of words, pixels, possibly some hallucinations. Any actions, cosmic conspiracies are all alleged and hypothetical, and I mean alleged and hypothetical in the loosest, don't sue me, bro, kind of way. Oh, I lost my place. Basically, we're not saying it happened. We're not saying it didn't happen. It just allegedly might have maybe happened in an alternate timeline in a different place. Everything is speculation. Nothing is fact, except for our dogs and our cats. They're real. If you're here for solid evidence, I suggest a court of law. Might find some friendly, familiar faces there this week. Or you can check out your local library. If you came here for entertainment, get ready, buckle up, strap in, we're ready to go.
Let's do it.
Now, with that marked out of the way, Garrett, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And see, you ended up getting the head position of the Rock Lobsters. Kind of like, how's that going with you?
That's been great. Like the whole city of Athens, the program, Scott Hall gave me a call and offered me the job, which was great. I'm pleased to be here, and like I said, I'm looking forward to get the season going and looking forward to the home opener Saturday night.
Home openers are always the best nights too. Second best nights.
That's right. So it should be fun.
Yeah, you guys actually started the season. You came out swinging with a 10-0 shutout against Indiana. Can you kind of talk us through like that? That's a bold statement.
Yeah, we just came out. The guys worked hard in camp and stuff. We do have a skilled group and a veteran core coming back into Athens here, so it's exciting to be part of. It's exciting to put them on the ice, and obviously Indiana's a new team, so it's one of those things. We didn't really it didn't really feel like a 10-0 game. I was being honest with you. So started off kind of slow, and to get the rust off and get the guys feeling good about themselves obviously worked out in our favor. So it's one of those things. It's as a coach, it's like kind of at the end of the season, you don't want them to get into bad habits with a 10-0 lead or a 10-0 lead like that. So at the early start of the season, it's great to have kind of just to get the guys confidence and working well together, and you can try different things and kind of see different combinations and get going from there. So fun stuff.
So you're coming into Athens following Steve Martinson, and I want to say this with you're already an established, successful coach. You did absolutely amazing with the Thunderbirds, but following in after Steve Martinson, he's the FPHL's winningest coach of all time by some alleged record somewhere. How do you plan on filling the shoes of Mr. Martinson with how well he was able to help coach Athens in your guys' inaugural year last year?
It's one of those things you come in, and obviously Steve's a good coach, and his pedigree where he comes from and his playing days and obviously his coaching career. So it's just one of those things you got to keep building on throughout, like just keep following what he's brought to the organization. So I bring my ideas, obviously, and there's some things that Steve's left that's been great for our hockey team. Obviously, like when I come in, I'll speak of the culture that's been brought into this hockey team right away. Our expectations, our day-to-day, the way the guys travel together and the way they come presentable to the rink every single day, business casual. Carter Shinkaruk, Garrett Milan, like all these guys, Michael Greco, all these guys that they brought in, they have such good standards and love for the game and want the organization to run a certain way. And again, you come through that locker room as a new guy, that's the standard, and it's unacceptable. And if you're not going to toe the line, that like how Steve has started it from day one, and the other players now that they've brought that up, it's easy for me to step in and just keep building that organization into what it is today.
Kind of with that being said, like different coaches, they kind of have different visions and stuff of what they're kind of expecting from a team and stuff. Are you trying to change the vision at all from what Steve Martinson, or are you just going to continue building with that?
Yeah, I do a lot of homework in the summertime on players. I like to bring guys in that are winners, guys that want to be Athens Rock Lobsters. And then like I'm a puck possession guy. I want to hold on to the puck. I want to make plays. I don't want to dump the puck in a ton. I want to play fast. And what I mean by playing fast, it's like in the neutral zone, you get it off your stick, you get it back up to the forwards, we keep attacking and stuff. It's the same thing when I was in Carolina is what we preach. We just kind of do our thing. We worry about our game, our Athens Rock Lobsters. We're not really all that concerned about what the other team's doing. We just stay on the attack, and you let the players, you bring highly skilled players in with high hockey IQs and that want to be there and get better every single day. And it seems to transpire into a good workplace to come and have some fun. So I've had success doing that. And like I said, my past is like playing the OHL. That's kind of coaching there was that's kind of where I picked that up.
You have a very extensive resume, actually, wearing many different kinds of hats when it comes to hockey, from coaching, video coaching, director of hockey, and scouting. And I had a scouting question. You mentioned about bringing in guys that want to be Lobsters. What kind of things do you look for in players you want on your team?
Well, right away, the body language. I always, like, again, when I've been scouting and stuff, if you pass the eye test, when you got an eye test, what I mean by eye test is like your equipment looks good. You look like a hockey player on the ice. You're, you know what I mean? You're not a showman. You're kind of, you're a gentleman of the game, and everything transpires from there. And I was taught very early on, kind of in my OHL scouting days, that a guy, old guy that used to scout, Jack Ferguson is his name. He used to go to every single game. He's been, I forget, like the first overall pick in the OHL is named after Jack Ferguson Award. He used to put ticks beside everybody's name. So like if you had a good play, he'd put a tick beside your name. And if you had no ticks, and he'd show you the card by the end of the night and be like, well, there's that kid had like 4 ticks. He's pretty good. Or like, so then you start weeding out obviously the good players are easy to scout. To me, it's like when you see good players, they're obviously, it's the guys down in the lineup that you're trying to find those diamonds in the rough that kind of come out of nowhere for you. So that's about it. Just spending time in the rink and picking like other guys' brains and how they do it, and watching and a certain skill set, and like again listening to podcasts and glassing out is one that, like, with all the coaches on it and hearing how they talk and stuff and how they recruit and how they're looking at how to develop hockey players. So you put all those intangibles into a hockey player, you can find some pretty good ones out there.
So last season, the Rock Lobsters went 43-10-3, even made it into the playoffs. They did amazing. Realistically, what do you expect, and what do you think you're going to see from your team on the Lobsters this year for your wins column?
To be honest with you, I think we're going to do the exact same as what we're going to do, what they did last year. I think we added a bit more firepower to our group with Eric Neely coming in. He's a local guy that we retired from the Gladiators. He lives in Athens, actually. So, like, again, he kind of dropped to us, just one of those guys. So he's working full time, wants to play some hockey. Obviously, the Federal Hockey League schedule is pretty conducive to a guy's lifestyle. But other than that, like, I think we can do the same thing. We got a good goalie in Carter McPhail we picked up. Like, he was a starting goalie, and Mercy Hurst and Will Lavalier is coming back. So we're good in the pipes there. So, but you also got to look at, like, when you play in the South Division, like, there's no real bad teams in the South. So it's like on the road and stuff, you got PD, you got Carolina, Baton Rouge, you got the Biloxi team, Monroe, Columbus, and like, there's no easy games in the South, really. So with that being said, you got to come prepared every night. And like, when you're playing back-to-backs and long travel and stuff, it's a grind in the Federal Hockey League. I think that's what makes it fun and like, kind of draws people to our league. So with that being said, it's not all about the wins and losses, I guess, in the regular season. It's when you come playoff time in that short 3 weeks on how you can dial your team in for those 3 weeks and absolutely be at your top of your game. And Aaron, as your Binghamton Black Bears know, it's just like you can go in and kind of be the sleeper kind of out of nowhere and come in and have a pretty good playoff run.
Absolutely. I was actually really surprised last season that the Rock Lobsters didn't go farther into the playoffs. And my boyfriend and I had actually talked on multiple occasions about how we really thought for a while that it was going to be Binghamton and Athens in the final at one point.
When you got those 2 out of 3 series, like, it's tough. Like, it's just like, it's the same as like kind of the NFL football. You get one game, one crack at it, and you happen to not come out your A game. Like, even like back when I was coaching Carolina, like, we lost the opening game I think we lost 6-2 in Columbus, and luckily came back the Saturday night and won double overtime, and then ended up beating them on the Sunday. So like, your season can go in a big trouble, in a real hurry for you. Your power play gets cold, suspensions, guys get hurt, goalie has a couple off nights or something. Like, you can be chasing your tail real quick in the Federal Hockey League in the playoff format.
Mm-hmm.
I just want a follow-up question with that, if that's okay, if I jump in really quick, Sam. Do you think at some point the FPHL might change their format? I know, like, some of it has to do with travel expenses and logistics and things of that nature when it comes to playoffs. Do you think they'll ever switch to like a best of 7 type series?
Yeah, I wish they would, to be honest, but at the end of the day, some of the rinks don't have the ability to keep ice in. I know, again, like down here in Athens, we have the ability with the new arena, new technology in the rink and stuff, they can keep ice. I know Columbus, I think, has issues keeping ice after a certain date. Carolina, same thing. They don't have the big humidifier in there to keep the humidity down. And in the South, once it starts getting hot like that, I don't know what the other teams per se have that ability to keep ice. So I think that's the biggest thing about how fast the playoffs got to get done, because everything's gets so hot down here. So I think that's honestly one of the biggest reasons. And obviously what you brought up was the cost, but I think that's one of the major players in why it's so short.
With Athens being a sports or college town, how has that impacted your experience so far compared to some of the other locations you've actually been at?
Well, it's been amazing to recruit players. Obviously, like you come to the city of Athens and the outside life of just going to football games, and even when George is out of town, everything's still buzzing around town. So, but the Rock Lobsters logo and the front office staff have done such a good job of marketing this team. Everywhere you go in here, we're recognized. There's jerseys up in most of the bars, restaurants. You see our brand out there, and everybody in town knows our brand. It's like everybody is starving for that product of hockey, it seems like. So it's even traffic getting into Atlanta. People from this side of Atlanta are coming to our games and stuff. Just they hear about the good experience, they're having fun, and it's quite the place to be. And obviously having a brand new arena, and it's a beautiful facility. Like I've been to a lot of arenas, so it's one of the best rinks I think I've ever been in, to be honest with you, amenity wise. So having that ability too, I think hosts a lot of benefits for the Rock Lobsters.
So with it being your home opener this weekend, what challenges do you think that your team may face facing off with PD?
So we're playing Carolina at home Saturday night.
Oh,
we play PD Friday. We're on the road Friday night in PD, which no big deal.
Sorry about that.
So we got Carolina. I just think, again, the younger guys, some of the guys that haven't experienced, like guys come from D3 programs, maybe they don't get a lot of crowd. Like we're probably expecting 5,500, 6,000 there for our game. So it's like, how can you basically play Friday night in PD and travel on the bus 4 hours, get home probably 1, 2 in the morning? How can you take the emotions from Friday night, win or lose, or however it works out? How can you take that into your game Saturday night and be able to mentally prepare, get your body ready, and come ready for what's going to kind of be expected to you? So your emotions are going to be high. You're going to be running on adrenaline. Are you going to be able to not take that penalty? Are you going to be able to follow a game plan? You know what I mean? You got a good Carolina team that doesn't have anything to lose, really. You're coming into a home opener building that's going to be rocking there. So it's like, of course, they're going to come in and play pretty hard. So it's kind of one of those challenges of how you can prepare mentally, how you're going to get up and get ready and get your body focused on Saturday night after Friday. So it's, again, the grind of the Federal Hockey League, which that's kind of one of the joys of hockey, is who can do it, who can survive the marathon, I guess.
Yeah.
So you left the Fed for a little while and went on to some other things and then came back. What surprised you the most about the Fed when you came back? Because obviously you're already well versed. You already knew the Fed. You already knew the ins and outs and what it's normally like. But then you left for a little while and you weren't really gone for that long or anything. But then you came back. And personally, I think the Fed has made some more steps towards legitimacy
Yep.
and a lot more steps towards creating better product, putting out better product, hiring better product, and just overall increasing the league. So, can someone like you with real perspective and not just a keyboard warrior like me explain to us a little bit about the changes that you've seen and what you think the Fed has done
Well,
and what
one
you
thing
think they need to do or shouldn't do?
I think the Federal Hockey League's done an amazing job, and obviously it's brought me back from the Ontario Hockey League, which, again, is a top league for junior hockey players to develop and stuff to continue on to the NHL or wherever they might end up. But the Federal Hockey League, one thing it does, it's like the brand of hockey is, I think, kind of looked down upon. And once you get here, you start realizing how good the hockey is. And again, I've left for a couple of years, and the quality of hockey players that have started to show up in these markets has been unbelievable. And I think it's credit to the ownership starting to put a real product on the ice, into development, into the communities. The rinks alone are beautiful. And then I think hiring good coaches. I think it starts like you start looking at the pedigree throughout the coaches in the Federal Hockey League. A lot of them have unreal resumes, like Steve Harrison. He's been drafted to the NHL. You know what? He's been there. Gary Graham, he's coached around the world. He's had success. And all these guys, you know what I mean? Jerome Béchard, like they're unreal guys. You got Brandt in bingo, right? It's like all these guys you start looking at that had success in their careers. Coachman in Watertown. So you start looking at all these guys. It's like we all know a lot of hockey players. So you start using your contact book and you start literally diving in there. It's like guys start showing up. And then like again, like you start showing up in the Athens, you start showing up in places where they're loved. These guys come here and like they just have fun, and it's such a community-based kind of hockey league kind of thing. So, you know what I mean? Every fan can see their favorite players, I guess. It's like, it's very different in the sense of they have a big community kind of structure where they love the players, and you can get autographs and you can see them after the game. They skate with the fans, and they're just not untouchable. Like a lot of the higher up leagues, players are untouchable. Here, they're not untouchable. They're in the community. They're out maybe having a quick beer after the game, doing a little public skating. You know what I mean? And it's just it's an unreal league, and some of the people you meet along the way here is absolutely the best, i.e. like the last person you had on your podcast here is the living legend of Joe Pace. Like you just don't find those guys around. So they're funny guys to know, and they got more stories than you can even ever think about telling.
And his memory, I still can't get him.
Crazy.
Can I jump in here for a second?
Sure can.
So, since we're talking about Joe Pace, and this will be the last question that I ask you that has anything to do with Carolina, unless it comes from a fan. But Carolina, the infamous bus team. Joe gave us his craziest bus story.
Oh.
Joe gave us his craziest bus story as the ringleader of the team with a bus that just could never make it. What is your craziest bus story? Or three, because I'm sure there's more than enough to go around.
You know, there's a few stories out there that go around, and it's one of those things as a team, it can bring you together a lot more than you think it can be. A lot of guys whine, and you hear fans complaining about it. But it's like the one thing about the Federal Hockey League is you got to be adaptable. So whatever's thrown at you, you grind away. But we do have some funny stories. I have had some funny moments throughout my time. Not per se with Athens yet. Everything's been great there. We charter a bus and everything's great there. But yeah, Carolina's been fun. Back in the day, I'm just trying to think. I think one time we came home from Danbury and they siphoned the fuel out of our bus, and no one's ever really said anything.
Sorry about that. It cut out for like the last 10 seconds.
Oh, sorry. You got me now? It's all
Yes,
good?
gotcha.
Yes. So I think one time we came home from Danbury, middle of the night. We were leaving Danbury, driving back to Carolina, and all of a sudden, and we're not far from Danbury at this point, and all of a sudden the bus is like I'm kind of sleeping in and out of being awake, not awake, and all of a sudden the bus just starts stalling, and we're like, what the hell's going on here? And the bus driver we had at the time, he's like, it feels like it's out of gas, and we literally just got fuel before we got to Danbury, and literally no one in Danbury has ever taken the time or anybody's thought about even taking responsibility for this, but the bus was completely out of fuel, completely. And to this day, nobody knows where it ever went to, but we were definitely out of fuel. And Danbury definitely somehow, I don't know whether it was at the hotel, whatever happened, but that was pretty funny. What else I got for you? I don't know. Oh, the one story, I do have a good story for you, Aaron. We left Carolina one time. Air conditioner wasn't working in the bus, which no big deal. We were heading to bingo. We were leaving probably 11 o'clock at night. And I can remember Danny Martin, we were going down the highway, and it's warm. It's probably this time of year, I believe, or somewhere this time of year. So it's probably 70 or so, 75 in Winston-Salem when we left. So the guys had the emergency hatches all popped up. So letting the air go in. Well, by the time we got, so you got to remember, we travel I think we left at 10 at night, and we were getting in the next morning. So all the guys go to sleep. Well, they put almost like a blanket underneath, and they tie it up so the wind, when it's coming in the bus, doesn't exactly blow on them. It kind of takes it up and goes out the back of the bus. So by the time, and of course I fall asleep, and I wake up when now we're in Binghamton, or we're very close to Binghamton, and I look back, and there's probably an inch and a half of snow on top of the guys in there, and I'm just dying laughing. Somewhere along the line, we ran into some snow, and it got in the bus, and the boys are just laughing. So just some of those things. Had a homeless guy living on a bus one time. That was pretty funny. Kelly Carroll took care of him. He sprayed a fire extinguisher at him. Yeah, it was a whole bunch of the homeless guy sprayed the fire extinguisher. Yeah, it was a whole ordeal. But yeah, We've
I
had.
thought you were
we've
saying
had-
you were extinguishing him off the
No,
bus.
no. He had the fire extinguisher. The homeless guy had the fire extinguisher. But no, it was good. It's something that I'll never forget. As much as people complain about it, it's one of those things that any other hockey league I've been to and sat on the around the round table, guys are just asking me questions. They're just asking me all about some of the criminals that play and throughout the years in the Federal Hockey League and the stories I have, and it's been great. Like, again, I can't get enough of it. I live by as soon as you get on some of those old buses and stuff, it's like you kind of miss it a little bit. Like you do. I think Pacer says it best. Like you kind of become a family there, and you're all in it together. So it's been great.
So, with that being said, you had mentioned a lot with the buses and stuff, and becoming a family, and then you also were talking about like the outreach programs and stuff that a lot of the teams at this league do within the communities and stuff. What is like one of your favorite programs or things that you have seen a team do within their community?
Well, I think the kids club's been huge here in Athens. Like, absolutely. They just started it this year. I think they already have 180 kids are already signed up in it. And in my previous experiences, just seeing the kids' faces, whether it be Thanksgiving, one sticks out, like the guy's got to color their hand or whatever, turn it into a turkey and stuff like that. The kids seem to like that. New Year's Eve game was always fun to be part of. We have one this year. I look forward to it. Again, I think they start a little bit later, but just to be around all the families and stuff and everybody after you get a big win kind of thing, and you see all your fan base there, and the players kind of like let their guard down a little bit and enjoy the new year and kind of what it's all about and the celebration and stuff. So, but just like, again, they're out in the community and like food bank drives, and it just seems like all these teams are cemented so well into their communities, and that's how they need to be able to succeed. So whether it be Watertown, any of these teams, we kind of all do it the same way, and they're out and about and working to build that brand in the franchises.
You know, I agree. With the teams I've been around, I think it's just really amazing what you guys do for your community. And, you know, I know there's so much more to having a team and being a part of a team than just like showing up for a game. So on behalf of the fans in your community, I'm sure everybody would like to send you a thank you. And I know one fun thing that Athens has to look forward to this weekend is the Lobster Parade, and everybody dressing as lobsters. I believe they did it last year. So do you have a prediction on how many lobsters may show up this weekend?
There's probably going to be a whole lot of them because it's been talked about. They do the old claws up, so which is pretty good. I think Thompson's already got his little fight celebration. He's going to do like a Hulk Hogan kind of claws up thing. I think he's already got it down packed here. So
Oh my gosh.
I'm excited to see that. Yeah, there it is right there. So they do the whole walk. It's amazing. I think it's fun for the fan base. I think it's creative. I think it's original. You know what I mean? There's not many organizations got a lobster for their logo, so it's cool to see. And obviously, after the song and the B-52 band, which is pretty neat too, when you start talking to older people and they don't know about it, and you tell them the history on it and how it got named, is pretty neat.
We had a couple questions in the chat in here.
I see that.
One of them being from Eric. He says, "Are you looking forward to returning to Carolina, which has now been renamed? They must just not be able to take it without you there. They even had to rename after you left." Are
No.
you more looking forward to Carolina or the rivalry with Columbus?
I think every team has a good rival, to be honest with you. So everybody usually picks on the River Dragons, and I'll say they're the one team in the league that does look after you, probably one of the best on the road. So with that being said, yes, the fans can heckle you and stuff like that, but that's what it's all about. It's kind of like going into enemy territory. As for going back to Carolina, absolutely. I look forward to going to all the rinks, to be honest with you. I look forward to getting back, seeing people that I've seen, haven't seen over the years, but definitely Carolina. It's a special spot for me. It's kind of where I got my head coaching start. There's been a lot of great people that's helped me throughout that 2 years I was there, a lot of support. A lot of good faces. And again, like the Southern hospitality, you can't beat that. Like, again, I'll go back to some of the groups that are in Carolina. We have groups, the Lobster Claw people here, Wes still that dresses in the full white suit with the lobster claws on it. I can see him. I've only experienced once with our inter-squad game with UGA. They're over there, got their lobster claws stuff going on, and it's pretty neat. And like I said, Carolina's got the sassy seniors that sit behind the penalty box, and they're always over there like waving at you and stuff, and they got all their like glitter and stuff going on. But they're always good people, no matter what. You can see that when Danville came to town, when they were having problems with no bus and all that kind of stuff, and the Carolina people took care of them and fed them and made sure they were good. That's just how they're born and raised, and that's just part of being from Winston-Salem in that area. Like I said, there's no ill will. I know Caroline will probably be yelling at me hard behind the glass and some of the super fans, but it's expected. It's fun. It's what they do on Friday, Saturday night in Winston-Salem. I think that's, again, what makes the Federal Hockey League special. It's the same thing as I'm going to go to Binghamton. They're going to yell at me there. I know they're going
Yes,
to. So
yes, we are. Yes,
you know
we
what I mean?
are.
Like it comes with the territory. So at the end of the day, everybody's warranted to have their fun, and as long as they stay within the guidelines of having fun, and you see two good hockey teams play, it's always awesome. And no matter whatever happens, you always see the players kind of chit-chatting after the game and having a beer or whatever they're doing, and it's fun. So, yeah. But end of the day, yeah, I look forward to coming back to Carolina for sure. I guess that's Twin City now, so.
When she actually initially went to say it, you started to say something like, was that talked about, like they were going to change it already when you were still there, or?
No. That wasn't. That was all new this year. So that was all Kerry Ross and his ownership group. So, which I think they've done a good job. I still think they're still going to be the Thunderbirds. I think they're bringing out another logo, possibly a third jersey or something like that. So, again, it's never great. Like, some people don't like a lot of change, but sometimes change is needed and a different brand. And it's still the same Thunderbird hockey team. It's still the same people running. It's still a great spot. And it's the same all over the board here. So it is what it is.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a glow up. Sometimes a rebrand is exactly what a team needs. And, I'm excited to see a third jersey. I always get really excited about specialties and things of that nature. Do you know if you guys have any specialty jerseys planned for this season?
Yeah, we have all the normal military nights and all that kind of stuff. I think we have a New Year's jersey. I'm not 100% sure. I think they're looking at doing a fourth jersey. We do have white, red, and blue jerseys. So I think they're looking at doing something that way. Not 100% sure on the jerseys of the specialty nights, what we're doing. But I know Piedmont, the one big hospital here, they do a big night for that, for the cancer night and all that kind of stuff. So I haven't seen any of them, to be honest with you. That's kind of the front office stuff. I just worry about kind of the hockey side of things and making sure the team's ready to go, and we'll wear whatever we need to get the support and get it out in the community.
This other fan question, we'll go ahead and hit this one as well, from Shahela.
Hey, girl.
Hi, kid. Do you like getting younger guys who haven't really played, or do you like more experienced players?
I like a mix of both, to be honest with you, but I do like younger guys that come in with the mentality of how they want to play, and they're going to work absolutely the hardest they can. It's their first pro experience. So I've had great success with that. You kind of have a core group of guys, and you add some good young talent around that wants to come in and work hard and absolutely dominate this league. So again, we have a few guys. Luke Croucher came in. He put on a pretty good show for the first weekend here, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I would say I'd like a good balance of veteran leadership and a lot of new guys. And that's kind of how you keep strong teams going. You got to keep adding to your group. Your group can get old pretty quick on you if you're not careful. So you can't fall in love with the guys you have. Not so much the guys you have, but as your team gets older, you need to keep adding 1, 2, 3, 4 guys into your roster to keep that new, fresh blood there that you can keep going. And let's be honest, I keep saying it's a grind in the Fed, Zeno. So it's you got to have those young guys in there that can play every single night and keep playing. When you only have 3 lines, some of the old guys look back at you and they're like, God, I forgot like what 3 lines feels like. This is good. And they're like, look up the first period. They're like, God, there's still 12 minutes left in the first period. It's like, so you just got to be mindful of that kind of stuff. But no, it's young guys and a good mixture of old guys is the way to go.
If I could ask a follow-up question, with juniors, I know that for most, the next goal is either playing at the collegiate level or maybe headed towards the Fed. What is your advice for the younger generation that it's maybe an age out year or, that they're ready to advance to the next level? What should they be focusing on most?
I think just picking the right spot, doing your homework on your coach, doing your homework on the organization that you want to go to and where you want to go to. So again, I say to a lot of players, like coaches, like generally can't tell you how much ice time they're going to give you. You dictate that as a player of how much ice time you're going to make a coach put you on the ice for. If he's telling you you're going to be on first power play, first this, he's probably kind of selling you a bill of goods. So it's kind of one of those things. You have obligations as a player that you need to fulfill for, like myself or anybody else within any league to come into play. So you do your homework, you ask the right questions as a player, like players all now have the ability to watch a video, see themselves online and know what they're all about. So as a coach, I've had a couple guys like if I'm recruiting them, they'll flat out ask me like, what do you know about me? And like, as a coach, you better do your homework on it, because if you don't know what you know about them, they know what they're good at, what their skill set is, and what they bring to the table. So you can't just give them kind of the generic answer. You got to tell them what you're all about and how you see them fitting in and how they're going to develop and how every player is going to get better. It's name of the game now. And all these players want to get better. They want to put the work into their craft and obviously move on to the next level and higher and higher.
We have another fan question in here. Which team that you've coached for was your favorite to coach for?
In this league or just in general?
Both.
Well, the Athens Rock Lobsters are my favorite, that's for sure. They pay my salary, so but everything with Athens is unbelievably professionally done. We have a beautiful facility. Once again, everything is supplied for me to have success. Our ownership group, from Spire to Scott Hall to Barry Cohen, everybody is so in touch with each other, and we're all on the same page under the same umbrella. So it's great to have the support there. But they all come with a different, they all come with a little bit different pedigree, I guess you might say. Like, again, I went to Saginaw. I was assistant coach there. We won the Memorial Cup. That's pretty special for me. Winning a championship out of 60 teams and hosting that tournament in Saginaw was pretty special for me. Was it my favorite time? Yeah, yes and no. I had ups and downs. They all have their ups and downs to them, I guess. If we beat Danbury in overtime in the final game, I'd probably have a different thing or a different answer for that too. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like unfinished business for me. I do have that hunger after losing that game that weekend, I guess, in Danbury. I do have that hunger to get back to where we were, and I want to win in the Federal Hockey League. That's one thing I want to do. So I guess I really didn't answer a whole lot of questions, but they all kind of have a special spot as a stepping stone. They all have their stuff in their communities, the people around, you know what I mean? They all have their own kind of, I don't know what makes them all your favorite, kind of your story, I guess you might say. So they all kind of have their own story. Does one stick out? No, not really. I guess they're all kind of the way the travel and the way the story goes in your hockey career, coaching career.
Now, kind of going with that one as well, I'm sure you obviously have a lot of other coaches and stuff that you actually talk to, associate with and stuff. Do you have a top 2 or top 3 that you will just call just for fun and kind of get advice from and stuff through your entire career? Or
yeah, I talked to a bunch of guys that I've coached with over the years. Jared Nightingale, I talked to. He's the head coach of the Rockford Ice Hogs in the American League, Chicago's farm team. He's a guy I coached with in Saginaw, and then general manager in Flint Firebirds. He got me started kind of as a scouting staff, and then I was brought on as assistant coach there. Dave McFarland was his name. So just touching base with those guys, even agents and contacts you make over the year that like to talk hockey and know hockey players. So it's like I touch base with a lot of people in daily conversations, and hockey players and Federal Hockey League guys, and you name it. It's the phone rings all the time, constantly. It's a crazy time, but no, I go back to some of the guys I used to play with too, like just touch base with them. Even my parents, like they can be, my dad, he can be, they watch every single game online there, and he can have his critique a lot of nights, and it's like, it's tough sell. So, which is good to hear from them, but sometimes it's calming, and also sometimes when you're a little bit upset and things aren't going the right way, you get the right advice to put you in the coaching mindset to get back to it and make the right decisions.
I feel like there's probably a very high level of stress that comes with being a head coach, with constantly evolving your roster, your lines, plays, and things of that nature. What do you do after a game to kind of decompress and, relax in your off time?
You just sit back and take a deep breath. No, I'm a guy that's like, I'm not a real heated guy. Well, I can't get heated. I shouldn't say that. I think we've seen me get heated once or twice, a little bit. But other than that, like, again, after the games, I don't have a lot to say to my hockey team. If we lose, I don't really address the hockey team after the game, to be honest with you. I really don't even go in the dressing room, because to me, it's like, everybody knows we lost. Everybody knows we didn't play well. So what are you going to do when you go in the locker room, yell and scream or this and that? It's like, it's better to just calm down, put the video on, watch where we went wrong, what we did, and then just start looking at video, watching the game back, and having kind of the 24-hour rule. And when we win, obviously, I don't mind having a beer afterwards and obviously enjoying a win. But generally speaking, it's not a whole lot. Sit down and open up your laptop and start watching hockey again. So just kind of creature of habit that way.
What about hobbies on your downtime or like a bye week? 'Cause, I know most hockey people just in general love golf. Or so, do you have like a hobby like that you have as an outlet?
I play a lot of golf throughout the summer and stuff. That's one advantage, definitely being down here. So golf, watch a lot of football, watch a lot of hockey. You know what? I've been getting into pickleball quite a bit too. So that also, I dropped my earbud for 1 second. Pickleball is one thing I've got into, which I quite enjoy. So I'm pretty good at it.
I actually recently learned pickleball as well, and it is so fun. And getting smoked by people 3 times my age is like kind of embarrassing. So, I would suggest to everybody out there, if you haven't played pickleball, you should give it a shot. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah. Well, my girlfriend, she has played tennis over the years in college, and she can really hit it. I play a lot of defending and trying to get it back. So, but I'm pretty mobile back and forth. I'm pretty good at defending that. So I would say getting into pickleball was probably, I do like that. It's a good stress reliever for me, stuff like that. So golf, cool. Pickleball, I would say.
I think you've given us a ton of really great insight onto like the way that you coach and stuff. And I think we've been able to have some conversations that like I kind of didn't expect. So I really have a question though about who is your favorite player that you've ever coached? And I don't mean that like, oh my God, they had the best stats ever. But like, who is your favorite player that has taught you and you've taught them?
So my favorite player that I've ever coached, 100%, bar none, is John Batista.
Cool.
He is again, a conversation with John Batista. I know you guys, I think, have had him on this podcast, I believe. He is the absolute best ever. His stories on the bus, his outlook, how he travels around is the absolute best. He's got his mustache. So he's one of the guys in this league that's definitely one of my favorites. I do like a good phone call from Joe Pace. That's always got a good laugh. As for the best player I probably have coached, last couple of years in Saginaw, Michael Meese is probably top guy. Zane Perek. There's characters. They're highly skilled, good future, long careers in the NHL here, but just being on the ice with them, they're absolutely sponges and they're coachable and they're just the best kids you've ever been around at 17, 18 years old, and where they're going to end up in their hockey careers to be able to have that little stamp put on them back when they didn't know how to load a dishwasher or make a grilled cheese or do anything, and you're teaching them how to not put tinfoil in the microwave. There's things like that. So seeing them come in from high school and kind of sitting down and shooting the breeze with you, and then you see them move on and playing in San Jose and Calgary, or guys that's played pro throughout Saginaw and Flint, see where they are now and when they get married and stuff like that. It's pretty special to see they had that small little blip in their stop in hockey. So it's pretty special that way. And again, all my players are pretty special to me, and I know any coach should say that, but they're all kind of different. They all have their quirks to them, but we love them all just the same.
I just want to piggyback off of that. We bill it for a junior team, and it's funny. I understand where you're coming from with the tinfoil in the microwave and the things that they learn, but it's so cool to see them evolve from a junior team all the way up to pro. I mean, that's got to be super rewarding knowing that like you're part of that journey.
Yeah, just like I said, these guys, you almost got to kick them off the ice at times. Our coach in Saginaw at times like just closes the door on the rink, and he's just like, you guys are done here. There's no going on the ice. There's no coming here to stretch. You're going home to be an 18-year-old kid and go play video games, go hang out, do whatever you got to do. You're not doing hockey today. So I think I've learned a lot from that kind of perspective of things. Like sometimes less is more. And I think the Federal Hockey League is the same thing. Like there's only so many flow drills, there's so many shooting drills you can do, where it's like maybe 1, 2, 3 days off is like you can have that and enjoy the team and find other ways, whether it be, again, a pickleball tournament, it could be laser tag, it could be a movie night. I know our guys tonight are having a big team dinner. Shinkaruk's the cook, I guess, at the apartment tonight. So I don't know what they're cooking. I'll find out tomorrow, but just little things like that. Sometimes that's what got a little more, you can get a lot more out of that than you can putting them on the ice and skating and doing all those things. So it kind of goes back to the question of what you learn through other coaches when you've coached with, just their styles and what makes your team tick, I guess.
And then, so I'm going to also jump off, you having the billets and stuff as well, along with John's question here. Junior players, what wisdom would you give to junior players moving forward?
I would say be ready for your opportunity. You never know when the door opens. So when someone gets hurt, somebody calls you up, just be ready, be a sponge, be fair to yourself, be prepared, do the work in the off season, and make the right decision of what's best for you, what's the best fit, whether it be school, whether it be pro, whether it be Europe. Just do your homework, make sure that you know what you're getting into and what the expectations are. And don't be afraid to ask questions. A lot of these kids don't ask questions when they're going somewhere and they're sold something that they didn't expect, and it just doesn't work out. So like I said, it's not a huge, it can be a big step, but it's not a huge deal to ask the right questions and get the right feel and go from there and make sure that you make the proper decisions.
Absolutely. So we have a super serious question. We ask it almost every week. This question comes from Allie. I don't know if she's here tonight, but her question is pineapple on pizza. Are you here for it? Is it not a thing? What are your thoughts?
I'm not for it. Like, I'm not against it. Like, again, if I had it, but I wouldn't order it. No, 100% I would not. But again, can I eat it? Yeah, 100% I can. But I'm kind of against it, I would say. Yeah. So Allie, it's a shout out to her. It's I'm against it. Yeah.
I guess I know what not to bring you when you come to Binghamton.
and being Canadian, I think it's kind of a Canadian thing, though, isn't it? Like the pineapple on pizza. Like, I don't know.
I always thought it was like a Hawaiian thing, but I don't know.
Really?
Well, they call it Hawaiian, but
well, maybe that's why I thought that, but I have no idea.
Sure. I don't know if it's a for sure thing or not, but yeah, I'm against it. Yeah, it's I'm a pretty standard pizza type guy.
I wanted to say thank you so much for coming on the show. You've been absolutely wonderful. You're a wealth of information, and Athens has been, just in general, so wonderful to work with. And we really look forward to working with you guys again in the future and checking in, seeing how things are going with the team and the league. And if your fans are watching right now, is there anything you would like to say to them before we wrap up the show?
Claws up. That's what we got. We got
Claws
claws up Saturday night. They've been waiting a long time for this. It's going to be a good show. All the boys are back in town. Some of the guys trickled back from the coast camps and whatever else, some of the fan favorites. So it should be a good show. It should be exciting. I can't wait for when the lights get turned on and the puck gets down on the ice. So it's going to be a fun night. I appreciate you guys having me on. And like I said, I keep asking anybody that comes to podcast, let's do one live. Let's do the first one live right in Athens, right on the concourse. I'll be the first guy there sitting down the seat. So let's get one going. Maybe we'll do one in Binghamton. Who's all close? I don't know. Do one live somewhere. Let's do one live.
Yeah,
Let's go. Tell
Sam
them
is,
you want to do a live one on the ice. I'll be
Yeah.
Tell
right
Brant. I'll do
Yeah.
it with Sherwood. Tell Sherwood, let's go. I'll text him right now. We'll get her going. And we can banter back and forth. It'll be fun.
I think that would be cool. You could rock it out in bingo, and Sam's over in Columbus. Unfortunately, we're over in El Paso, so we're too far away. But I hope you guys are able to do that. That'd be really cool to see.
I think it'd be great to do one live action. Just have myself, Brant, or whoever. Boom, boom.
I sit right behind the bench too. So like I sit close enough to knock at you and scream at you loud enough that I know you'll hear me.
Mhm.
My favorite spot in the whole barn. But I'm
If we could figure it
I'll be
out-
sitting behind you and like go live with you in the background.
We come in a couple weeks, so
I
Yeah, I
know.
was gonna say,
I'm
if we could
excited.
figure it out, and we know the date, we could try to set that up. Honestly,
I think it'd be
maybe
cool.
get both
I
of
don't
you
know.
guys, like Brant and you together. That might be like a pretty cool
Kind of like
interview.
I'm
the
game.
NHL, how they do a quick break with the coach. Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, do it right over breakfast. We'll go for breakfast or something, or we'll do it right in the rink, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I'm game for it. I'm open to help the league. I'm open to promote hockey and everything in the Federal Hockey League. So I love it. I'm glad to be back, and I'm excited to be part of this.
Well, thank
Claws
you
up.
again, and we will absolutely we'll keep in touch. We'll figure out some details, and yes, claws up. We wish you nothing but luck this season and this weekend, and we hope you have a great night.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.